All right, my friends, so it's time to get our hands a little bit dirty and get practical. Now, in this lecture, we're gonna go ahead and set up our Google Ads account. If you already have a Google Ads account, you can skip this entire lecture and I'll see you in the next one. If you don't have a Google Ads account, we're gonna start by setting it up right now. And it's important that you follow along here too, because there are some options that you want to set up right from the very beginning. So what I recommend you do is that you open up a screen, or well, you already have a screen, but open up a tab with Google Ads and just follow along what I'm doing on the screen, and I'm gonna guide you and we're gonna work on this together. So let's get started. So first things first, we're gonna go to ads.google.com. It's also gonna be in the resources, but it's very easy to access if you just wanna open your browser and write it in. And your ads.google.com is gonna look a little bit different. They update this all the time. And also, if you're not from the US, it's gonna look a little bit differently than this. Probably gonna be in your language. So we're gonna click on Start Now, the button here. And the first thing that's gonna happen is that it's going to ask you to log into your Google account. Now, even though you don't have a Google Ads account, you might still have a Google account. So all you need to do is log in with that account and you're gonna get straight into Google Ads. If you don't have a Google account, just click on Create Account and you'll be right with us. So for this tutorial, I have set up a new email in order to start over from scratch so that we can go through this together. So I'm just gonna go ahead and log in. So the first thing that's gonna happen when you log into your account is that you're gonna be launched straight into a new campaign in here. And now, as you can see, there are a couple of different options from the get-go. And don't panic here, we're gonna go through everything in this campaign and how a campaign works very thoroughly so you'll understand every single move. But there's one thing that you need to know before we proceed, and that is that Google don't have your best interest in mind. Now, there's an old saying that says if Google recommends something, pick the other option and you will be safe. Now, that's not completely true, but my point here is that when you're creating ads, you have the goal of maximizing the profit from your ads. Google have a different goal in mind. Now, Google's goal is to have you spend as much money on your ads as possible in order for them to make money. They are a business, right? So with that in mind, a lot of Google's default recommendation is going to be based on you spending as much money as possible rather than it helping you achieve your goal the best way possible. So while Google is a great company, has some great algorithms, we're gonna be careful with a lot of Google default recommendations, and I'm gonna explain when they set these kind of traps, if you will, and what to do instead. Now, the first thing that we see here is that we have these different options for our campaigns, right? Now, we can focus on sales, we can focus on leads, website traffic, product and brand consideration, etc., etc. Now, the problem with this is that if we click on one of these options, we're gonna be launched into a Google Ads campaign that is a simplified version. Now, the problem with the simplified version is that you're not going to have as much control over your cap, over your data, over what you put in, over how much you're willing to bid, the minimum, max bid, all of that important stuff that we're going to go through together, understand, and optimize. That won't be available if you choose one of these. Then Google is going to do all of that for you, and that's not great news, right? So what we're gonna do is click on Create a Campaign without a goals guidance. I'm gonna click here. And next up, we're gonna select the campaign type, right? So we have search, display, video, app, smart, and then shopping is gonna be available. Now we're gonna go through what these mean and what they are, but we're gonna start off by clicking on search, which is gonna be the default one and the one that most likely you're gonna use the most. Now, the search campaign is the campaign where you search for something and then the word that the person is using to search for something, you're gonna have your ad appear once that word is entered, right? Now that's called a keyword. So let's say that you're selling protein powder, and if someone is searching for protein powder, you're gonna want your protein powder ad to appear in the search results in Google, right? Whenever we're writing something into Google, those are keywords that we are using. Much more on this later on in the course. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna start one of these search campaigns, click here, and then start setting things up. Now, as you can see down here, Google is asking for some more information. Google is asking, what do you want to get from this campaign? Do you want to get website visits, phone calls, app downloads? And this isn't one of those options that's gonna change anything in Google Ads. Instead, this is actually something that's gonna help out. This is not one of the Google traps, if you will. Rather, if I click on website visits and I enter our website, robinandjesper.com, what that's gonna do is it's just gonna help with some auto suggestions and some general suggestions throughout setting up the campaign. So you're not gonna go wrong with entering one of these or filling out any information here. And then we're gonna go ahead and click on continue. Alright, so here we are, and we're gonna start setting up our ad in just a second. Now, if you just set up your account and you are on the same page as me, you can close this lecture and move on to the next one. If you have been following along here and you have a Google Ads account already, I'm gonna show you quickly how to get to this very point so that you can follow along in the lecture as well. So all you need to do is go ahead and log into your Google Ads account, and then you're gonna go down to campaigns here, and you're gonna click on this plus button. So we're gonna do a new campaign. So we're gonna click there and click on new campaign. We're gonna click on create a campaign without a goals guidance. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna click on search, and then we can fill in the website visit if we want to, and then we're gonna click on continue, and you will be right up to par with the course, and we can continue on in the next lecture. So I'll see you guys in the next lecture.